Hello, my name's Jupi Hadley, and today we're doing another version of Jupi Plays All the Games, this time with the ProcJam. The ProcJam, or the Procedural Generation Jam, is about making something that makes something. These are not all necessarily games. Some of them are tools or asset packs or other things, but I'm going to be checking out everything that was entered into this jam for about a minute each. Links to the individual games in the description, so you can check them out further. About 10 per video. All my info will also be in the description, so you can check me out on social media and see my stuff as well. This video, as always, is brought to you in part by the lovely people on Patreon who support me so I can continue to do all of this and record all of this. If you want to support me, there's a link to that too. At the end, I'll probably have an article of my favorites. Thank you very much for watching, liking, and commenting. Next. We're playing Boss Battle Generator. Okay. New text. Boss health is 0. Player health is 100. How to be smarter than a boss. We hit enter, of course. Yeah, we were very close to this boss. Kind of looks like a sand castle to me, you know, one of those sand castle buckets. It moves a bit fast to me, I think, because it's kind of closing in. No, maybe not. If we go sideways, we can kind of get it. -2 ending health. Oh, this is a new boss. This one does not look like a sand castle. It looks like a bull's head. Or an alien. Something I can't escape. Run faster, I'm not sure now. Okay. Getting there. -2. Ooh, this one is firing out on me. It's got like a big range. So I have to stay quite far away. There's a variety in these different bosses and how they attack, which is always really nice. I can't seem to shoot that way anymore. Weird. Next. We're checking out the Procedural music maker. Let's put in a seed. Jupiter. Oh. Doesn't actually sound bad. I'm always afraid with procedural generative music that it'll sound bad. Alright, I'm gonna type in another word. So it's just ever so slightly different. Yeah, they all sound pretty good to me. I don't know if we should mess with that. I don't feel like we should. Ooh, sorry, I hit all of the wrong buttons. I think it's better. I feel like I messed something up. Next. We're checking out the Once Upon a Bot next. It is a bot that lives over at bots.space. And, it tweets really wonderful things. I think this is like, it tweets, I don't know. It toots. It says toots. Tiny fairy tales to lighten up your day. Toots twice a day. Made for ProcJam 2015 using blah, 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 blah. Will be queered up soonish. Oh, cool. So some of their, toots. Once upon a time, there was a thoughtful countess who fought a treacherous advisor. Things looked bleak, but in the end, she was victorious, thus bringing relief to the town. Once upon a time, there was a fairy witch who fought a treacherous wizard. Things looked bleak, but in the end, she triumphed, thus bringing peace to the citadel. Once upon a time, there was a brave princess who retrieved a living book from a treacherous queen. Things looked bleak, but in the end, she succeeded, and thus bringing prosperity to the palace. Once upon a time, there was a good countess who retrieved living candles from a cunning fairy. Things looked bleak, but in the end she triumphed, thus bringing calm to the citadel. Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who fought a treacherous wizard. Things looked bleak, but in the end she was victorious, thus bringing relief to the land. Yeah, they all work really well. They're nice little stories. Next. We're going to talk about this thing next. It's called Mesh Playground. It's a tool that allows anyone to create 3D mesh using only JavaScript code, and then you can export them as an OBJ or PLY file and use them in your favorite game engine. It looks like this. It looks really easy to use. You've got kind of a square, and you can kind of click and drag to move it around. I just don't know anything about Java coding. However, I'm playing the browser version of this tool. You can also do a downloaded version, and that seems very, very handy, just having a browser-based version and a downloaded version. And I guess I could type commands here. I don't know Java. Sad face. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of unexpected identifiers because I don't know what I'm doing. This looks like a well-made tool, though. Next. We're playing Cute Infinite Runner. Press space to start. You can double jump and also jump. I mean, these graphics are super cute. We can indeed jump and double jump. I feel like the girl blends in just a bit too much with the background. Oh. I think I have to restart. Why can you sit here getting infinite score? I jumped a bit too late. Almost did it again there, but then I recovered. It's fine. Okay. It works really well. It's an infinite runner. That's exactly what it says it is. It's getting quite fast, actually. Maybe I just feel like it's going fast. Nope. Yeah, it's going fast. It's getting easier to get caught as well in the corners. Next. We're playing Tunnel Snakes. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this is way faster than I figured it would be. I'm liking this rainbow tail, though. Ah, let's do slow. Let's do medium. Yeah, it's way slower. I was doing medium speed. This might be even too easy now. I don't know what this song's from, but it's really weird. It's a pretty simple game, but it works really well. Oh, alright, let's do medium. Sorry. Next. We're checking out Abîme. I don't know what most of this says, but you can hit evaluate, and then it creates different trees around the planet. I'm sure that you could, edit these numbers like this, and then it'll change things. Oh, so we can make them smaller. Scale of the trees. Tiny trees. I don't want to mess with too much of this because I don't really know what a lot of it is, Oh, that's the planet. Let's make the planet quite small. Let's make the planet that big. And let's make the trees, like, huge. 0.7, is that good? They're quite over top of each other. So this is quite fun. I don't know what most of this means. Repeat. What if we repeat through? Will that make less trees on the planet? No, it's like branches. Oh, okay. That's what, 6. Lots of branches. I kind of want the trees to be small. Let's put 50 probably. Like, I don't know what any of this is really. Oh. Yeah, this place is huge now. Next. So next we're checking out RPS. This is a source code for Python that generates some strategies in rock, paper, scissors, and then you have to fight it and figure out the tax so you can beat it 5 times in a row. I don't know how to make Python code run or work, but I think it's pretty interesting that it generates strategy that you then have to beat 5 times in a row. So you can't just beat it once as a fluke. You have to beat it over and over and over again. When it generates a bot, it will print difficulty in 3 numbers in square brackets, where each number corresponds to the level of the following categories. There's regular, so it'll go left or right after each game, and for each level, it will additionally go left or right on the 9th game. The direction will always be the same, alright? So, retractionary, it will go either left or right or not change on the hand depending on what you choose your previous turn, okay? And vengeance, it'll go left and right, not change the hand depending on the result of the previous match, win, loss, draw. Additional levels will make it look further back on your moves, so it gets smarter as you continue on. Weird. Next. We're reading The Search. This is a procedurally generated short story about the search for mysterious creatures. Your search takes you to the summit of a snowy mountain. Night has fallen, and you and the others sit around the campfire. One of the members of your party looks at you and speaks. I do hope we find some valuable data while we're out here. He fidgets nervously, looking out into the night, and then suddenly looks at you. This reminds me of the time studying the Gruwata. Based on the accounts I've gathered, I've hypothesized that it came into our world just 5 years ago and has been just outside Gold Beach ever since. People say that its eyes are a terrible blue, and that it can move through water at over 12 miles per hour. The data that I've collected suggests that its diet is primarily rodents, and not brains, as many believe. I studied the Gruwata in the ocean where it lives. I never saw it myself, but the data I collected was invaluable. His words are cut short by the sound of a screech in the distance. You lock eyes with the other members of your party, and the tension is broken as you all scramble for your gear. It's time to continue the search. Well, that's a really well worded little story. And it ends on quite the cliffhanger. I wonder if it'll continue to be procedurally generated. That's a very, very good story. It all makes sense. And is good background to what you're searching for. Next. We're checking out agent-based level generators. So this basically just generates different dungeons. And you can watch it create its generated dungeon. And you get a seed to it. And it adds in all of these stairs at the end. So you could go to the next area. This is another thing that I feel would be almost like a screensaver. Man, that one yellow cube really stayed in its corner and the other one really went out far. It's interesting seeing where they go and where they meet up and where they cross over into each other's area. Yeah, you can just generate level after level. Watch it be built. Pick out the ones that you like. This one uses quite a lot of area. The other one had a nice flow to it. Yeah, most of these have a really good flow to them. They don't have a lot of, like, long dead ends or anything. It's kind of interesting to see them, like, build just a single path out there and then a big open area. Next. Last but certainly not least, we're playing Hubbles Typing Adventure. There were a couple of other games entered in this jam, or a couple of other tools entered in this jam, but I couldn't quite figure out how to make them work, or do anything with them, or understand them enough to tell you about them. So I would encourage you to check out the jam's page, and I'd encourage you to keep checking back, because this game jam, though it had an ending, this tool jam, though it had an ending, isn't quite in a solid end, so there might be things entered in still, up until the next ProcJam. Anyway, Hubbles Typing Adventure. Select your challenge level. I'm gonna pick 2, because I'm very good at typing. Oh. You have to do it the right time. Yeah, okay, let's start at 1. Okay. So you can stay in the air as long as you hold down J. Got it. We've learned how to jump. Our bullets fly to them, that's great. I like these graphics as well.
D, J.
And I like how it reads out the letter to me.
J.
Pretty solid little typing game.
D, J.
It's getting faster and faster.
D.
Goodbye, bugs.
D.
Yeah.
D.
This is the last thing entered into this jam. Thank you very much for watching and liking, commenting, and subscribing. Probably have an article of my favorites out in Big Boss Battle in the near future.
J.
Bye.
D. D. D.